Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for Syrcus Tower. This is the next level of Crystal Tower and is home to some of the coolest looking boss and level designs. To keep this video as short and sweet as possible without cutting out too much information, I'll be breaking this raid into two videos. If you're looking for the last two bosses, click here. My name is MTQ and I'll be your raid guide. Each set in this first group of trash can be pulled individually. However, if you are an ST, you're probably with a ton of pugs, and everyone knows pugs have no patience. Good thing you can easily AoE everything down. The first boss is Scylla. This is probably the hardest boss in here as it depends on a lot of individual movement and play. However, once you break down each mechanic, it's really quite simple. You'll notice 3 deactivated platforms around the room. Each platform will be assigned to one alliance group, similar to the platforms around the old Acheron and CT. Interestingly enough, these platforms hold the exact same role that the other ones did. We'll use them to shield ourselves from the boss's ultimate attack. Although this attack only comes sub 50%, this is probably the most important mechanic of the encounter, so let's go over it first. In between those platforms, you'll notice 3 purple lightning pillars. Consider these the power modules to our safety platforms. Throughout the fight, random players will become tethered to these purple orbs. Players must then drag these orbs into the lightning pillars to charge them up. Each lightning pillar will consume 3 orbs before it is fully charged. You can tell a pillar is fully charged by the 3 colors here and here. The easiest way to do this is to run to the pillar closest to your alliance's platform. If that pillar is full, look to see which pillar is missing a charge and run to it instead. Scylla's ultimate is called Daybreak, and it's a pretty long cast time with a zone-wide emote. As soon as you see Daybreak begin to cast, all players must run to their respective platforms to activate the shield that will save us from the spell. Remember, each platform needs at least 4 players to activate, or the entire raid is doomed. During this time, Scylla will summon a number of adds that will attack each platform. Again, deja vu from CT. Groups should focus down their respective adds before resuming their attack on Scylla. If you don't have enough players to activate the shield, the Daybreak cast will petrify all players for 15 seconds. Chances are, Scylla and the adds will run to whatever platform its primary target is on, and eventually cleave that group. While it is possible to recover from this, it's usually best to just do it right the first time. The second major mechanic you'll encounter is dealing with fire and ice orbs. Throughout the fight, random players will be targeted by these orbs. This orb will inevitably catch up to you and freeze you into a block of ice that will do damage over time to you until you're released. The best way to handle this is to kite the orb somewhere between the boss and your group's platform. That way, you'll be easy to see to break out. At the same time, random players will be targeted by fire orbs. These orbs will blast the raid if it hits, and must be kited towards anyone that is blocked in ice. Once the fire orb and ice block combine, the frozen player will be free and a puddle of water will be left on the ground from the reaction. These water puddles substantially increase your fire resistance and will be used to avoid another of Scylla's spicy AoE attacks. Anytime you see Scylla casting Ancient Flare, all players must run into a water puddle to avoid excessive damage. Be careful when kiting around your fire orbs. Should your fire orb touch a pre-existing water puddle, the puddle will evaporate in the reaction. Ancient Flare will also remove any pre-existing water puddles, which will give you lots of room to drag the fire orbs around. The last thing to note are these stabs of Elder Rings that will float around and be an all-around general nuisance. Depending on their location on the platform, they'll throw out different types of AoE. As with any of Scylla's point-blank AoE attacks, players should move to avoid these telegraphs. The fight can get a little hectic with all of these telegraphs, and if you find yourself having trouble, you can always switch to the staffs and kill some, alleviating some of the outgoing damage. Just remember, purple orbs go into lightning towers, ice orbs go somewhere easy to see, and fire orbs go into ice blocks. Stand in water during Ancient Flare, stand on the platform during Daybreak. Kill adds, avoid AoE, easy peasy. Coming up to the second boss, we face another set of adds that look oddly familiar. Healers, be ready with your AoE heals and dispels, and tanks, be ready to pick up the green dragon and the annoyingly high number of fresh add spawns. The next boss is Glasya Labolas. The first thing you should notice is the number of smaller platforms that circle the main platform. We'll be using these to escape his ultimate attack, so keep these in mind for now. Throughout the fight, Glasya will spawn massive AoE puddles under players. These are incredibly hard to miss, so be sure to move out of them. Periodically, he will summon a number of adds around the room. These adds will either channel a buff on the boss or themselves, and have a point-blank AoE circle of protection around them. This circle will stun the first player in it and the add, stopping the buffs it's casting. Once that first player is trapped, the add will be vulnerable to damage and all other players should switch to these and destroy them as soon as possible. Glasya will eventually cast Death Stream. The first time you'll see this ability, it will do a room-wide AoE blast. The easiest way to handle this is to huddle up on your alliance waymark and allow your healers to top everyone off. This is also good practice for the next Deathstream cast, which won't be as forgiving. Eventually, the 3 pillars on each alliance waypoint will activate, channeling lasers onto Glasya that will render him invulnerable. At the same time, 3 clockwork adds will spawn. These adds must be positioned in a way to snag the lasers off the boss and divert that power to each alliance pillar. This is the only way to activate the jump pads we'll use to escape Glasya's attack, and they will remain at 1% until they're in the appropriate positions. There is a bit of a DPS check here because Glasya will begin his ultimate cast even if you're too slow on killing and positioning the adds. If all goes well, each alliance's launchpad will activate, allowing players to leap to the outer circle and avoid the instant death platform poo. The inner platform will remain a death trap until all the outer adds are destroyed. On each outer platform, a spinner rook ad will spawn. Everyone should focus these down before the platform is engulfed in electricity. Once the ad is down, hop over to the next platform and repeat. Once all the ads are killed, you'll be able to use the same platforms you used to escape to jump back in. If you find yourself in the middle of nowhere, keep jumping clockwise until you find a platform with a launchpad leading back in. Here, the fight repeats. Glasya will cast the wussy Deathstream once more before casting the scary one. You'll have one new AoE to stay away from that moves around the room, but aside from that, remember to kill adds, huddle for AoE heals, steal lasers, and platform hop until he's down. And that is it for the first half of ST. If you're looking for the rest, you can find that information here. If you have any questions or comments so far, please let me know. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.